The start of a new week, and we have a bunch of new people joining the coaching program this week. So, welcome to you all. If this is the first time I've seen this is how I try to keep in touch with my students. Um, it's the start of a new week, and I just wanted to share a thought. So, one of the things I like to do is study successful people across all fields, spiritual, religion, business, personal development, because there's always something insightful to learn. One of my favorite characters to study is the Apostle Paul. Um, there, there are some things that Paul says that are so full of wisdom that if you don't take some time to really think about it, you just gloss over it, and you miss the message. I mean, I know there's a lot of spiritual connotations if you're a Christian and all that, but there is a lot more wisdom in there than most people see. One of the things that I was just thinking the other day that it just popped in my head, and I've read this and heard this a lot number of times, and you're probably also familiar with the expression. But there is a depth that just popped up to me when I thought about it and read it the other day again. It said he'd finished, he just talked about love, and then when he talked about love, how love acts, which, so that is a whole different topic on its own, his perspective on what love is and how love acts. If you really analyzed it, you realize that most of us don't know what we're talking about when we say we love someone. If you did, there's a lot of stuff you would never do, but that's that's a, that's a different subject, and I will not go into that here today. What I'm going to is what he said much later. He said, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child, and I acted as a child. Then he said, when I became a man, I put away childish things. Like I said, this is something that I've heard of. You probably also heard this, you know. But what struck me was the um, systematic arrangement of his words, if you will. He said, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child, and I acted as a child. In other words, the action is the last outcome, and the thinking is where it starts from. And between your thoughts and your action, they're actually words here. Words are going to be like the controlling medium, if you will, um, before you actually take actions. Now, these words can be externalized, verbalized, or actually could actually be internal. So think about everything you do in your life. You think about it, then you talk to yourself, then you act on it. So you don't even necessarily have to speak it out loud. Why is this important? When you are building a business, a lot of people focus on action, 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 or talk, 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 talk. They forget that this is where it starts from. It starts from here, the thinking process. If your thinking is wrong about business, you will not be successful. It's one of the reasons in the coaching program we run, I have you reading books and have you go through mind stuff, questions and things like that. Because a lot of people, when they get started with training, are like, oh, show me how to run a business, show me how to make money, show me how to be successful. That's all action. Okay, that's all action. And sometimes when you tell people, do this work, read this book, prepare your personal action list, in other words, how are you going to change your life based on what you read from the book, they just rush through the stuff like, yeah, I just want to get this done and let's move on to this part. If you do not get this part right, if the thinking process is faulty, you're absolutely guaranteed to fail. Absolutely. And it's something somebody wrote, what, almost 2,000 years ago. And this has been talked about even before Paul came on the scene. Your thoughts about your outcome will actually impact what you achieve. In fact, if you spend more time here thinking as a man, as an adult, as a mature person, thinking like a business person, before you start talking about what you're going to do and then taking action, you'll find that the action becomes a lot easier because you would have thought it all through. Now, coming to the perspective of speaking as a child, thinking as a child, when you say you want to make $100,000, okay, and you've never made $10,000, that's thinking as a child, okay. When you say you want to have a company that has 100 employees and you can hardly manage yourself, that's thinking as a child. Thinking as an adult is, and thinking as a man, man being a generic term for a full grown mature person, is asking yourself, how am I ready? How am I preparing myself to achieve the outcome that I want? Here is the principle that I believe exists in life. You can never advance to the next level of your growth or development or success if you have not advanced there in your thinking process. You get there in your thoughts first before you get there in the physical action realm. If your thinking is faulty, look, forget it. You're never, absolutely never going to be able to achieve this. If by some miracle you're able to, transcend that and get here, you're going to fail eventually. It's going to collapse. It will not last because this is the undergirdle. This is the foundation of the success you're looking to achieve. So start thinking in this new week as a proper business person. You have books to read. They're yours to read. I mean, you can see behind me, I'm a book nut, I do this, nobody makes me do it. I do it because I know when my thinking is elevated, then I can speak right. And then when I speak right, then I can take the right actions. So in this new week, make a determination for yourself, would you? Work on your thinking process. And how do you do that? Read the books. You cannot create new actions from old thoughts. Read the books, read them thoroughly, prepare your personal action list. How are you going to transform your life based off of what you've read? And then begin to talk to yourself and say, hey, I've been like this in the past. This is how I want to be in the future. Then you're going to start taking the right actions to get to the outcomes that you want. I hope that sends a message to you guys. It's a new week. Start thinking right. Think like a mature business person. And I'll talk to you soon.